Good morning, I'm Ray. This is my vegetable garden, and this channel is all about growing your own fruit and vegetables and some flowers and DIY projects on the way. So thank you for watching, and today I'm just going to get on and do a few jobs around the allotment. We're in the middle of August, the weather is showery on and off, so we're in and out the polytunnel doing jobs outside and jobs inside. So let me show you the first job that we're going to do today. So this is my rose bed, and in between my roses we have our passion flower, and this is growing up the gate, and now it's got to the top of the gate. It's got nowhere else to go. So now I'm just adding a few winds of string. You can see the yellow string from one cane to the next cane, and now this passion flower can be wound around and it can go off to the side, and maybe it can return back again, come the other way. You can see the tentacles have already grabbed hold of the netting, which is what I didn't want it to do. So I'm just going to twist it round this piece of twine, and now it can happily grow along and the tentacles can grab hold of the twine, and it can quite happily go along there now. So that's one job done. So we've taken all the heads off the sunflowers as they were falling over and they've been eaten, and now we're just going to replace the one in the bucket with these passiflora plants. So we're just going to stick one in each of the buckets either side, and then they can grow up the canes. These sunflowers were the sunflowers for the next sunflower challenge, but they flowered far too early in the hot weather we had. So let's get on and plant these in these tubs. So this sunflower was Russian Giant, and we've kept the heads, and we're just going to pull this out. We're going to have a look at the roots. Just taking quite a bore. We're going to save the soil, and we're going to replant in it. Still attached to the pile. There we go. So that's the roots of a sunflower. Not particularly deep or particularly big. Anyway, whilst cleaning up, we have found we've got a sunflower growing, and this is a harlequin. You can tell by the reddish leaves. So we allow that to go, and we go in, dispose of these two. So we're just going to level this flat. And this is our passiflora. As you can see, the roots have been quite good. These were grown quite small from a seedling. These were given to us by our neighbour very kindly. So we're just going to put the passiflora next to the cane, and it can grow up against the cane and be quite happy there. We've come round to the second pot, and this is our lupin, and here's all the broken branches of all the seed pods that I've dispersed into the ground. So we've got some seeds, and we're going to save some for next year, and we can grow them on. So this is the second pot, and these didn't grow that tall, so we need a better thoughts for next year's sunflower challenge. So let's stick the passiflora into this pot. So there's the 2 passifloras done, and we even got some new seeds from the lupins to keep. So that's one good job done for this morning. I'm keeping the stems of the sunflower still, because there's some of the stalks are producing flowers further down the stem, so that could still maybe come out. So we're just going to keep them here and let them be. So all the roots and all the soil, I'm just filling up this bed, and I'm using all the roots and all the spent compost, and that's a way of saving a little bit of the soil and making some of the beds up. The caterpillars, I've seen they've all disappeared. We picked all these off one by one, and we added a video of us doing so, and I'll add a link above. But at the moment, they're looking okay. We picked these off one by one, and then we gave them a spray of soapy water. So they may recover, they may not, but it was worth a go. This cosmos, well, it's nearly 5 foot tall now. It's just growing crazy. So we're just going to go around and deadhead these right down to the bottom, and hopefully we'll get some more flowers. This is our seed saving tray, and this is for the marigolds, and these can be for next year. So I'm just drying them off, and then we'll put them into an envelope with the variety and the colours. So the Alderman Peas, they're pretty much done now, and even the ones outside. We did have a second spurt of greenery, and we harvested those, but now it's turning mostly brown, and we have a few pods that we're going to save, and these seeds will be used for next year. We did sow a few of the seeds that we took off, but unfortunately in the tunnel it's far too hot, and only a couple of them have survived. This tray, it's been far too hot in here. Far too hot, and I've not been able to keep the watering up, but still we're going to give it a go for these. Maybe we might get a late crop, so we'll stick these in the allotment somewhere. Still smelling this melon every day. as it's getting a nice size, and as previous melons have been eaten, I don't want anyone else to have that. So let's give it a smell. Not smell yet. In the tunnel we've done some vertical growing, and this is a butternut squash growing up the top here, and it's grown quite some size, and now we've had to even extend it to grow along this piece of wood, and it's still growing, but looking right at the top, we do have one butternut squash. Christmas potatoes, these are with the wicks in the water, and we have some signs of growth, so that's working. So this is the melon plant with my one melon, and it's not doing much more, no more flowers. So I want to get these out, and I've got some more cucumbers, and I want to try and get some late cucumbers in, so we can still be eating these later in the season. But I'm still waiting for my melon. But this bed can be for the next round of cucumbers, and these ones were grown in the soil that we grew in a bucket in the wheelbarrow, and they've grown, they look quite strong. So if we look at our bag, the critter has pulled this whole sheet, which was about a 3-metre long sheet, and it's pulled it all the way into the hole. So I really don't know why it's taken all that effort to pull the sheet down into that hole. So we got some hollyhocks, and we've only got 3 out of a tray full, so we really don't understand what happened to the rest. And these are some Chinese lanterns that have just been slow. So the mid aisle, we decided to do an experiment with brassicas, and although it's working, it has been taking over the middle plot. But we do have a random tomato coming up the middle, but I think these end ones were cauliflowers, so we're still waiting for these to appear. And we did have 2 okra, but the okra was forgotten, and now it's not done much. Another way of growing vertically in the tunnel was putting up these canes, and this purple bean, I think they're called blow something, well, they're growing up quite nicely up the tunnel, and they're giving a nice crop. So the cucumbers are looking a bit scruffy, but we've had some real good batch of cucumbers off of these, and we still have a few growing on this vine, and they'll be okay still. We did have a random melon plant in the middle, and we've still got 3 melons here growing. So that's good. Looks like the rain is going to start coming down again, so I'm going to do some more jobs in the tunnel. So these are some more cucumbers, and the right hand ones are the right hand ones are apple cucumbers, and the left hand ones are apple cucumbers. See, the lemons are flowering, and the apples have not. Apples was about a week, sown a week before the lemons, so it's still interesting. The carrots I did in between tomatoes. Well, they've grown, but it's not a good idea. Not a good idea at all. So we do need to get these out, and we need to be making some space, as this is far too crowded. Far too crowded. And even the marigolds, they've got to come out. It's far too crowded. But we do have tomatoes. The cucumber melons have grown a lot of spindly leaves, but there's no flowers, no sign of any cucumber melons. Although there could be. We might be in for some cucumber melons, Colin. Peppers this year have been great. Last year they were tiny and not good. And this one, the chili peppers, they're doing really good. And chilies, we just took off a red chili yesterday. But this is doing really good. Oh, and let me show you the purple ones. Let's have a look in here, look. Look at these. They're really good. And there's some more in the back there. And some more peppers. These are doing really good. And these are just in pots. And they're just on a bed that gets watered. And they're doing really good. We've already took a harvest of these off, but we're really pleased. So one of my last jobs to do this morning on the allotment is to do the edges. Always looks nice and tidy when you've gone along with the shears and cut the edge. So what do you do when you cut your edge? Do you leave the grass there? Or do you pick it out? Or do you hoe it in? Let me know in the comments. what you do. Be interesting to find out. So, all good job done. Got away with a bit of rain. I think it's going to rain again shortly, so better head off. So one of my winter projects has started, and that was to cut down on the grass. So this path along this side of the tunnel I've made 2 foot wide, and I've gained about 1.5 foot just levelling off the path. And then the central path, which has come along here, is slowly being dug up. This is another pathway that will be less to cut, and it's also going to give me so much more space, like 3 foot extra all the way through the garden. And my dad always used to do his garden, his allotment in lines, and from next year this is what I will be doing, and everything will be in neat tidy lines from this end where the hoe is all the way up, all the way down, all in neat lines. That's the plan. Here's an update on the tomatoes, and these are the tomatoes on a cane, and these are the tomatoes that we made a cage for, and you can see a video of the cage. And these have not been chopped, not been sucker removed, they've just been left to grow as they are. And as we can see, these ones need to be tied onto the canes. These ones are just growing up randomly. Although we're in late August or mid-August, they've decided to flower now, some of these, so we might still get a late crop. But these cages are a great idea, and I'm really going to encourage this more. Just a quick update on the Sweet William in the sandpit nursery bed. They're coming on now. These are the 2 tomato plants that was in the polytunnel, but it was getting far too hot in there. So I've moved them outside so they can get some rain. But since I moved them outside, it just hasn't rained. Not that much anyway. And a quick update on the 20p black tomatoes. They seem to be putting on quite a spurt now, and they've got some flowers too. Thank you very much. And if you're new to my channel, then please subscribe, ring that bell, get notifications when you post some more, and leave me a message. Are you still putting up any flowers? Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye.